Lectures on Grace, number 12, Making and Keeping Commitments. I learned a bit about commitment this past weekend I'd like to share. I took the train to New York City with a full plate of things I was determined to accomplish. First off, I arrived at Grand Central Station about 11 a.m. and decided to walk 3 miles to Central Park through the city. It was an overcast day, but I sported a 30-pound backpack with computers, my paintbrushes, 9 GoPro cameras, and 2 tripods. So it wasn't lightweight, but I was determined and committed to take in the sights of the city, to look at the people, and to really experience my would-be adventure to the fullest. When we look at our commitments as an adventure, we put our whole heart and soul into it. Extraordinary things happen. I felt that level of commitment at the start of my day, with a vision of how it might all work out, but not knowing beforehand. I determined to not think about any creature comforts, discomforts, hunger pains, the heat of the day, throughout my day, or any other thing that might dissuade me from accomplishing what I set out to do. Instead, I thought about the benefits of sweating on this humid day and losing a few pounds. That I'd be getting my workout and aerobic points. I wasn't going to worry about the time change or jet lag, the rigorous activities of the day before. I would just press on. I also determined beforehand that I wasn't going to take a cab and keep my pace up so that I'd make it to the event in Central Park on time. I actually made it to the park on time, but still had to go another mile to the location on the other side of the park where our activity was. I entered from the east side and I asked one of those bicycle riders how much to cycle me to the other side. I thought $10, but he said 25, and I said thank you very much and continued walking. I arrived in plenty of time for the Synergy Olympics activities and set up my 360-degree camera as I planned to capture that event. I met with everyone, got caught up on things, and had a great time in both mental and physical activities for the next 4 hours of fundraising. When we were done, I went with a friend to Michael's in another part of the city, another mile or so walk to purchase a canvas, and a short jaunt back to find a quiet place in Central Park to paint. We painted for about 2 hours just before the rains threatened the balance of the day. The rain started to sprinkle. My friend put me on a train back into the city for my next planned stop, Times Square. I planned dinner at Bubba Gump's Shrimp Company, where I have fond memories and, of course, love shrimp. I checked the batteries in my cameras and tried to salvage the most charged cameras for the next shoot. My goal was to film Times Square in the evening lights when things are pretty spectacular and even overwhelming. I went out and started filming some of the activities that were already going on around me. Unfortunately, 2 of my camera batteries died before I captured the nightlife, but I'll be back and we'll get that shot. Why? Because I'm determined and committed. So instead, I met people on Times Square, at the train station, on the train, filling every moment with Distant Run. I once wrote a short piece on commitment for other students to consider because it comes up in everything that we do. Commitments, promises, and covenants, whatever you'd like to call them, there comes a decision point. Where does it rank with the things that you already are committed to, like eating food, sleeping, job, family, marriage, church, or other priorities in your life? And though we can't be committed to all things at all times, we have the ability to commit more intensely to 1 or 2 or 3 things that we can focus on and put our whole heart and soul into, especially when we have a vision of the end in mind. There are those commitments that we make to family and marriage and friendship and relationships that are part of our core already. But when we focus on any one of those things with renewed commitment or a project that we feel is worth pursuing, we can move mountains. We can make a difference in any area we set our mind and our heart and our thoughts and our actions to. On that day in New York City, I was committed to walk, to take in the sights, to breathe in the city, to participate in the activities in Central Park, to paint a picture for a friend, to photograph Times Square, and to eat really good food, my one meal for the day. At the same time, not knowing beforehand if I had the stamina to accomplish this ambitious schedule. The logistics were uncertain, the weather tenuous. I sported an injured toe and carried a heavy backpack, but I was committed and open for the experience of whatever came my way. I had my plan, but surrendered to the possibilities. I met this one person who spent probably an hour and a half talking about my camera rig, life, and some of the transformational work I've been doing in New York City. I'm committed to transformational work, whether it be the born-again religious experience or the born-again experience without the religion, where I help others go from where they are to a higher state of awareness, performance, fulfillment, happiness, and peace and joy in their life, despite their circumstances. That's what my life works about. That's where I find fulfillment and joy, to show people the way to really experience life, to stretch ourselves. I have lived a large life, and I'm grateful for everything that God has given me and allowed me to participate in. And I just want to share it with anyone who has a desire to reflect on who they are and what they want and what life is all about. When we commit, the heavens align and wonderful things are made possible in all areas of our life. When we commit, heaven will be quick to respond and bless you according to your needs in any time of need. This is the grace of God that enables us to do what we commit our souls and our hearts to. Commitment is always a choice. It is never forced on us. As I made my way across New York City, there were times that I had to dig down deep within myself with determination to make it another block, another street, another mile, one more step at a time. Commitments are like that in every aspect of our life. They're not something easily dismissed or something that you just stop and put your effort into another time. Because if you do, you lose your commitment momentum. When we make a commitment, we need to set our goal and then be as specific as we can. So there's something measurable, something obtainable, something that we can track and monitor, something that will encourage us to continue our track, whatever it be, a project or a long-term relationship or whatever it is that you're determined to pursue. Then just do it. And when you arrive at one milestone or another, live in the moment and sing it out loud. Be present. Savor the people, the experience, the possibilities. There is great satisfaction and joy in making and keeping your commitments. We all have it within ourselves to commit, to plan, and to follow through with all that we are. And in so doing, we'll accomplish greater things than we could have imagined. What great achievements are waiting for you to commit to?